Well, that would have helped if I had fixed that. 1 second. Hi, welcome to Final Joe Films. I'm John, the executive producer here, and I just want to thank you all for tuning in and watching. Particularly, I want to thank our $25 tier patrons who support us at patreon.com/fsfilms. Those are Rowan Parker, Devian Alexander, Samantha Bates, Kat Waterflame, and Elle. Thank you all very much for tuning in and watching us every week. Your support both on Twitch and YouTube and Patreon all mean quite a lot to us. So, for those watching live, and for those watching the VODs, and for those listening, sit back, relax, and enjoy. We're live as I jump through all the wrong scenes. Great start.
Hello, everyone.
Great start.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Stardust RPG on Trails of Stardust. I am William, and I am your game master for this 5th edition science fantasy campaign. Joining me today, we have John.
I'm John, and I'm playing Koltar, the Orc Artificer, and Tolbar, the Artificed Orc.
I'm going to be nice and not go straight to Jeremy while he's leaning over and go to Cody instead.
What?
Wait. I'm Cody. I'm playing Varush Al Rul, the Loxodon Way of the Watchers, or Oath of the Watchers Paladin.
And Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I am playing Kendall Fairchild, who is an Eladrin warlock. Yeah.
Was there more to that?
I mean, there could be. There definitely is. But sometimes I just like to leave it at that and let newcomers experience Kendall unspoiled.
So, for some reason, also, I named this episode 8. It's episode 6.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Look, man, I've had a long day.
And Jack.
Hey everybody, I'm Jack. I'm playing Till Wayland, the Avian Way of the Iron Path monk, and today half of the birds and the bees.
And Craig.
Hi, I wanted to say first, I don't think any of us ever get to experience Kendall unspoiled because she very much is spoiled. But I am playing bees, a swarm of nocturne and torch bees who constitute a ranger.
We're not wrong.
We will not be joined today by Holly or Camille for varying reasons, but they will hopefully be with us again next week. So,
varying
when
reasons,
last we left
yet
off.
Not dissimilar ones.
Yeah. But when last we left off in the previous session, the group had sought a task from the local void keepers and been given the quest of tracking down what's been going on when shipments that are supposedly full of Altombla have been disappearing before making it to inspection for the void keepers. Arriving at what was to be the next ship to drop off a shipment to bring for inspection, interacting with the crew of the Zephyr, which is a ship that Kendall is at least familiar with, and had a conversation with its captain before following the shipment as it was supposed to head to the Void Keepers, only to be interrupted and intercepted and spirited away, as was predicted by a mysterious Cambion named Jasira Zatran, who showed up offering the kind of assistance that she thought you would need. She was rebuffed at first, but now that the group has lost the shipment as it has disappeared before their very eyes, she once again sits on one of the buildings directly above where you were standing, legs kicked over the side, and her last statement before we begin was, "I told you so," to which Kendall responded by choosing at that particular moment to give off her signal that says that something has gone wrong, which is, I will restate for everyone, the loudest, most high-pitched scream she can manage.
Yep. And that's high. She is definitely a soprano.
So
Do the
ears
Fairchild.
ringing with that, that's where we pick up.
Jasira was right above me, correct?
Yep.
I ignore her and start walking back to Kendall.
Look over at Kendall. What are you screaming about?
That was the signal when something goes wrong. And I just gesture vaguely. Clearly something's gone wrong. Duh.
Yeah, an audible signal such as that isn't necessary when we're all here.
Bees
Isn't
are
it
out.
though?
The bees have poured out of the hive armor at the scream, and are buzzing around Kendall, saying, Kendall, who should we get?
Sorry. What? What?
Something went wrong. We're ready.
No, we're
Is it
yeah,
that
I
guy?
don't really know
They
how to
start-
react to this.
They start flying at just the nearest dock worker.
I let it happen.
All right.
Dock worker will be fine.
Bees, no.
Bees.
Say these are torch bees.
Please.
Dock worker will not be fine. I'll remind you that they're called torch bees because getting stung feels like getting lit on fire.
That is an 18 to hit.
I understand this. Kendall is practicing out of sight, literally just out of sight, out of mind.
Also, I don't know if Kendall knows what getting stung by a torch is supposed to
Also
feel
fair.
like.
That is a hit. It's a random dock worker. Do you feel like rolling damage?
I mean, this is just the close 9 points of damage. This is the closest person who is not a part of our group.
So the dock worker, swarmed with bees, immediately goes down, screaming bloody murder.
Sounds like something's wrong over there too.
I'll try to catch them as they presumably fall to the ground.
Oh yes.
And dump some lay on hands into them. So that-
Bees, leave them alone.
We got him.
Stop now. You've gotten enough.
Okay. Did we do a good job?
Thank you. In one sense, yes. In a very more real sense, very much not.
Tell us about the one that we did a good job in.
Tonight before bed.
Okay.
I will turn back up to the Cambion.
Miss Fairchild, we
Uh-huh.
are probably going to need to negotiate with this person. I understand that you would prefer not to, but I think we are at somewhat of an impasse and in unfamiliar territory. So we may have to rely on the locals a bit.
we have a name. I believe we should. I'm with Fairchild. I don't think we need their help.
I mean, I didn't say no, to be fair.
That was me. I would
Oh.
prefer not.
I don't think we need help. That one went down really easy.
We need help finding the right people to go down, bees. We don't just kill anybody. We have to kill the correct people.
Kill the bad people.
Yes, the right people to go down on. Anyways,
after a certain point, if you kill enough people, we'll get the right ones.
Why are any of you engaging in a conversation about this with bees?
Uh,
Because that's a valid point that I had.
It's not.
Oh, okay.
You know, I would normally expect that kind of bloodthirst from my own kind, Jasira says from the roof.
Do I have any idea what Jasira is, or do we? Have we ever encountered what is the? I mean, I know she's like a shark demon person. What is the name?
Ambien.
A Cambion. Have the bees ever run into a Cambion?
Roll religion.
Bees was a Cambion the whole time.
I got a 1.
You've never seen a Cambion before in your life.
Okay.
You'll forgive us the hesitancy in wanting to deal with an individual whose reputation precludes her to unfavorable deals.
Or the outright rejection of said help.
I mean, you're welcome to continue rejecting my help as you so desire. I'll be happy to watch you stumbling around this station trying to hunt down the people you're looking for blindly.
What kind of help are
Joy.
you offering?
Is
Because
the
none of the
dock
rest
worker
of
up and conscious as I pat him and send him away.
I know who to talk to and whose palms to grease to find out where the night crawlers. To be fair, that's not even their actual organizational name. It's just how I tend to nickname them because it's amusing and it pisses them off. Where their most recent hideout is, and where they're likely taking all the materials they're hijacking.
Till's
I haven't
gonna
even told what I wanted in return yet.
try and pull Varouge aside real quick after he heals up the dock worker.
Yeah.
hi. Sorry, what's her name? And now you guys talk.
No.
Varouge, we under normal circumstances, I would definitely be bowing to your expertise on this. The Oracle did say the first ally we needed to find would be found here. I am no expert in the vagaries of the universe's intentions, but I feel like that is going to be a key element in our success. And this may be a keep your enemies closer sort of circumstance. Like it or not, if we're looking for a threat coming out of Sarheim, we will need to interface with individuals native to that area. Those are just my initial thoughts that I've been considering since we left Nocturna again. You're the expert, though.
I understand that this information would be greatly beneficial to us, but gifts or favors or whatever transaction, fiends, devils, whatever, the stated price is not the only price. I, in my order, have a strict policy of, I don't know how to explain it, rather than, I don't know another way to explain it other than we do not deal in any sense. And it may make things more difficult but if I'm to stay true to the oath that I took as well, you're more than welcome to accept the information they may have. But I may have to abstain from the group for a while, if that's the case. We do not truck with demons or fiends, or those who truck with them.
All right. You know the minutia of your restrictions better than I do. Kendall's not a member of our little company officially. How many degrees of separation does your organization require?
Varush, give me a wisdom check.
18.
So there's a thing in the back of your mind that runs through your head as you recall the words of one of your mentors who laid out the tenets of the Watchers for you, and then followed that up with a lesson that was, these are the tenets that we follow. These are true in writ, but always remember that reality is never black and white. We don't accept gifts or favors from fiends or those who truck with them because we know what comes on the other end. And while that's usually true, we don't accept those. We stay true to the order and to our comrades and to our duty. Those two sentences can come into conflict with each other at times. And at that point, it's up to your best judgment. The lesson that you had been intended to get, whether or not you took it that way, was that the tenets are guiding principles, but not written in stone and immutable and unbending. They can't afford to be in a galaxy as wide and varied as this one.
Yeah, that's not how he took it.
Yeah, that depends on how you take it, but
yeah,
that was the lesson that was being imparted, whether or not he accepted that.
Yeah.
And you are able to understand that was the lesson being given, even if you disagree with it.
Yeah, the whole thing, like how he's just told Till, is that any gift from a fiend or devil is a corruption of the original intent, no matter what good comes from it. Something down the line is corrupted. And he'll explain it that way again, a little bit more detailed.
All right.
I understand this can make things more difficult, but if this is something that we're tasked
if
to
those
do,
if those are the principles that you have to conduct yourself by, we will figure something out. I just wasn't sure if, for instance, Kendall took assistance from this Zatran lady, if you would then feel compelled to still step back or not. So
he's just gonna think about it for a while.
okay.
Yeah, I'll think on this. And
meanwhile, the conversation between Kendall and Jasira.
I'm sorry. What's her name again?
She pushes off the side of the building and just kind of flutters down on her wings.
Jasira?
Jasira Zatrin. Pleasure to meet you.
Desira, hi, I'm Kendall Fairchild. You might know my dad,
I've heard the business name go around a few times.
of course. So I'm a little lost here, I'll be honest, but what's can you explain it to me again? Just because, I was busy with the whole. Yeah.
Of course. Of course. Well, the people who have taken the goods that you're looking to recover are a group that I tend to insultingly nickname the Nightcrawlers. Their actual name is very long and in a language I don't speak, so I don't bother trying to remember it that well.
Which one?
I think it's Sylvan.
Really?
Oh,
Can you say it?
She will rattle off a series of syllables that is poorly pronounced, and you understand it's someone trying to pronounce something that is from a language they don't speak. But the rough translation is those who walk under moonlit shadows.
I mean, cool. That's isn't that basically like the name equivalent, the name, like group name equivalent of like Jim?
It is kind of, yeah. It's very
Sylvan.
generic.
Like that's
It's very generic.
Yeah.
It's like,
So yeah,
you would suspect no one who is actually of Sylvan descent, like significantly, would tolerate their name being that. That is a name from someone who learned Sylvan in a book somewhere.
so yeah. Kendall's like,
did Kendall say that out loud?
what?
Jasira did.
Oh no, but the part
about it
isn't
being Jim?
isn't that the equivalent of
No,
being Jim?
no.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
So yeah, no, her nose just kind of wrinkles a little bit, and she's like, well, "That's kind of basic, but okay, fine."
I thought it just sounded like someone was trying to be grandiose in a language they learned from a book somewhere.
I mean, it totally is like that. That's gibberish. That's like that was what my third grade like group of friends was called.
Bees says, yeah, Gideon wanted to call us that for a couple weeks one time.
Huh. Yeah.
Also,
So anyway,
your pronunciation is really bad.
yeah. Well, it's fine. It is what it is.
I don't speak the language. I'm not going to pretend I know how to pronounce it.
It's okay. You don't have to. You got the point across quite good. So, and they are trying. Okay, so what do you know about them? Like, clearly, they're not actually some kind of fae, because ew.
No, they're their lead is a void elf, which is where the shadow magic comes from. They're mostly a bunch of cutthroats and ne'er-do-wells who gather under for a cheap thrill and easy money. They're really more of a nuisance than anything else, but they're very good at disappearing.
Yeah, they sound like they suck. Well, I mean, we could look around.
They've been a thorn in the side of myself and my red runners for a while now, but
We can, I mean,
From the alleyway. Red runners?
yes, that's why I called them the Nightcrawlers, because they're ripping off of us.
There's just a grunt. Sorry, I wasn't trying to interrupt you, Jeremy.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. So if we wanted to, like say hi, or like, where would you think we would start? I understand they're good at, hiding and stuff. Where would be a good place to start?
Well, they tend to move their hideout around a lot. The big thing is there are a few informants who make it their business to know who's moving around and who's going places on the station. If I give them the right word and the right amount of coin, they'll usually be willing to tell me what I want to know, especially because I built up a rapport with them. This is a rapport you don't have with them yet, and they'd likely just avoid you if you tried to find them. I don't know where to look right now because the last time I found their hideout, they moved it before I could burn it down. But I know where to find out where to find them.
And like you said, they probably wouldn't deal with us right away. Well, that's annoying. Well, tell you what, can you just give us a minute? I think we need to talk among ourselves, and figure out what we're gonna do from here.
Feel free. Like I said, if you decide not to take me up on a business deal, I will be happy to watch you from a distance. This is highly entertaining.
Perfect. Thank you.
And the wings flap and she goes back up to the roof and sits down again.
Throughout that entire conversation, I've been in the alleyway, both asking questions of the crew that just got their shit robbed, and also inspecting the alleyway to sort of vaguely determine exactly how everything was taken. Because if it was just teleported away, there will be signs of that, by there not being signs of anything else. And it's sort of like getting an idea of, did they actually teleport it away? Did they just use the cover of darkness, move it, and then teleport? Trying to get as much information out of this as I can.
Roll me perception
And
or investigation.
Talking to the people that got their shit robbed, did you feel something, were you punched? Did somebody knock it out of your hands and then teleport it away? That, all that.
Roll me investigation.
Investigation. I will invest in negation. Natural 20.
Ayo.
With the natural 20, as you're looking around and sort of piecing together what you can discern from the people involved, there's no clean getaway from this area. Like there's no way they could have, especially with something as large and as heavy as they had, there's no way they could have gotten in, grabbed it, and moved without being seen. And you're not seeing any kind of trap doors or hidden egress from this area. This is definitely like a in the middle of the street alleyway. There's nothing special about it. So the only conclusion that you can really come to is that either they hit it very effectively and were able to transport it, or someone opened a portal and shoved it through.
Are there, with that natural 20, can I see if there are any cameras that are very pointedly watching this spot? Because we also didn't see anybody watching the area, and I'm curious if maybe they were watching from a different location before they came in and teleported away.
You, with the natural 20, you also do not see any cameras that are looking here.
Okay,
So they definitely had some way of monitoring this other than cameras.
So they had to have been here.
Probably. Or had some other form of magical surveillance.
I'm going to follow that thought and look and see if there is any sort of if I can find any trace of like a crow's nest or an ambush point somewhere where a single individual or more could have had a good line of sight on the ambush point without themselves being easily seen from the people getting ambushed.
There are a few places like that. As you look around, you're not certain that any one of them was inhabited because there's not a whole lot of traces there.
Yeah.
But there are multiple locations that would be viable for that.
So yeah, I'm gonna let them decide on whatever they want to decide on. I'm in an investigative mode and am more interested in following the small bits and pieces that I've found. So yeah, I'm just gonna go over this entire area and spend a little while doing it, thinking about all the teleportation spells that I know, the various distances that they could go, and sort of because I think we had a map, didn't we, or no?
Yeah, you have a map of the station in general.
Yeah, thinking of the various places it could go and sort of trying to triangulate with this being one point, the farthest teleport that could be feasible for people that need to use shadows to steal shit. So obviously they didn't use teleport or teleport to it. They couldn't have used teleport because they wouldn't have needed the theatrics for that. They wouldn't have used teleportation circle because that was enough time for that. So like narrowing it down to what sort of teleportation spells I know, trying to map a maximum distance, minimum distance, and most logical directions and locations between.
The most logical thing that you can consider is probably a modified dimension door.
Mm-hmm.
Like something that's just slightly large enough to push a cart through.
Yeah. So again,
Or an opened up level cart.
and this will probably require like another roll or something, like a navigation, like a survival roll or something. But I'm going to spend, while they're having whatever conversation happens now, I'm going to spend that time trying to see if I can, with what data I can gather, offer a couple of options for where to start looking.
Mm-hmm.
And would you loop anybody else in on this?
I mean, you can very clearly see Coltarn is doing an investigation, and like he's got like the map in his hand, whatever, like a data pad or whatever it is, in his hands, and is sort of looking around, like very visibly pointing in directions, referencing things. I don't know if it would take a very high insight roll to tell what he's doing.
Okay. What you doing?
Trying to determine the most likely location that a group of magic-using bandits could have teleported to, or would have teleported to.
How are you doing it?
He'll sort of he will technobabble his way to an explanation.
Okay. With that information, then can bees make the survival roll? Can I do it
Sure.
with advantage?
Sure. Go ahead and roll that. Meanwhile, the other end of the conversation.
Yeah.
19.
Yeah. So I guess it's just me and.
I mean,
Yeah,
Mistel and
like
Gideon are
Bruce,
there, but they're
then-
NPCs right now.
What?
Mistel and Gideon are there, but they're NPCs right now.
Right.
So.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the deal? Where we at?
Varouge is considering his organization runs under very strict guidelines where he's not allowed to interface with individuals of her demographic.
Till, as the person who has had the most direct comprehension and sort of study of the prophecy as a whole, roll me history.
Okay.
Okay, just to be clear here, when we say interface, we just mean talk. And when we say demographic, we mean demon, right?
Yes.
Okay.
11.
The sentence that stands out to you out of the entire prophecy that Janya gave you was that your first ally would come from among the ranks you would consider an enemy.
So
which makes this stand out a little bit. In your head.
Right. That, of course, is somewhat in keeping with what Janya told us, that someone we would consider an enemy would be our first destined ally. Fate and predetermination and that sort of thing being whatever. And I realize that confirmation bias might be playing in here somewhat. I think we're supposed to work with this Jasira person. And so the problem right now is, can we do so in a way that doesn't significantly or overtly conflict with Varouge's personal standards?
Now, you also recall that Janya also said that fate is basically circumstances arranged.
Right. Yep.
What
So,
you do with it
it's
is what
like,
you do with it.
we do what we
So
do, but
here's what we can do. Rouge, why don't you go back to where we're staying? and I'm gonna go a bunch of other places and also talk to someone. And I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of information from a lot of different places. And if some of that happens to come from one particular source, then maybe it does. But a lot of it might not.
You're free to do whatever you wish. I actually plan on going back to the captain. I have quite a few questions that I probably should have asked the first time, but now that we've had a bit more experience with what's been going on, they've come to mind now. So see if perhaps the captain would be willing to part with this information.
Worked for me.
Anybody's free to join me if they please.
And how many of us have communicators?
I have one.
All right. We'll give you a call once we've finished our
Expansive, not
And-
specific.
inclusive,
for
plausible
information.
questioning of other people.
And I'll
That's
let you
happening.
know when
I'll
I've
be
found.
right back. Vamp for me for a minute.
All right.
Hey, Till.
Just for general safety,
Bees.
perhaps you should come with me.
Okay. But Till, why are you taking so long to say everything?
So
You're
there's
gonna-
a
you're gonna-
phrase that I'd like you to try to learn.
Okay.
Well, actually, you might already know this one.
Okay. I do.
Plausible deniability. Do you know what that is?
Yup.
What is it?
Too much work.
For some people, that is true.
It just, you're taking a really long time to say that you're going to ask the demon some questions.
But we're not.
No, we're not. We're not going to ask the demon some questions.
We might,
We
it's
might, but we
conceivable,
haven't decided.
but
yet.
we're also checking a lot of other places too.
We might find all the information we need before we even need to talk to the demon person.
Oh, okay. I get it.
Awesome.
From off
Excellent.
to one side, still doing investigation. You know, if we're trying to find someone who's actually very connected with this place and might know information that isn't coming from a disreputable source, we could try asking the Adventurers Guild, considering that, well, it's their job to get information.
I don't know that it's necessarily their job to get this type of information specifically, but if
No,
you
but-
want to visit the Adventurers Guild, and Miss Fairchild and I will
Canvas the
investigate some other
Surroundings.
sources, and Varouche will contact the captain of the Watchers, Void Keepers, that sort of thing. We can definitely check multiple sources all at the same time.
Bruce, did you say you wanted us to come with you?
You can if you want, but
Hey Bees, this might be one of your very few opportunities to actually walk into an agency, while not exactly police per se, involved in enforcement activities without anybody giving you a hard time about it.
Are we under arrest?
Pretty sure you're not.
Gideon told us to always ask.
Bees can also
That's
just stay with me, if
exactly.
that way Varouche doesn't have to worry about too many people crane necking.
I also did end up getting a 19, William, now that you were back on the
Yes.
survival.
So that survival check, the problem is based on the range of potential teleportation magic, and also on the fact that this is a official map that you've got, and there could be more tunnels in different areas that are not on official maps. there's a lot of potential directions they could have gone.
Sure. So
You would need to find at least one other clue to try and narrow down where they would have been going.
I think how that probably shakes out is B says, okay, well, then based on that, they could have gone here, and one of the torch bees lands on a likely spot, or here, or here, or here, or here, and it starts repeating faster than a single voice can say, to the point where it's
It's
like,
just covering the map.
and then once the map is, am I picturing this correctly, mostly covered?
Yeah.
The bees say, but we can rule out the clear areas.
Actually, we can rule out quite a bit. I say as I zoom the map out a bit.
Some of the bees start spreading around.
But yes, there's a lot of places for them to hide. Now we just have to figure out what direction they would have more likely gone in.
Okay.
And that's assuming they didn't go further after whatever teleportation magic they used.
Oh, absolutely, they went further after whatever teleportation magic they went, but wherever they went was a safe space, which means that if we find their safe space, we find more clues.
All right. Well, we'll be in contact once we find anything.
I'm gonna throw some questions in Slack because I'm not gonna retype them. That I wrote down on a notepad, that these are the questions that Varush is going to ask, but he's also going to send them on data pads that you can ask whatever ones fit in for whoever you're asking.
Cool.
Well,
But yeah,
while these two are canvassing the local area, I'm going to go talk to the Adventurers Guild.
meet
That
back.
places
What?
places to sell offload.
Yes, I have
Okay.
horrible penmanship.
It is quite all right. I have literally not written anything in like by hand in fucking
Too long.
13 years,
Damn.
something like that. So I get it. Like I dread what my penmanship looks like these days.
But yeah. Meet
Awesome.
back at where we have rooms. I remember the name of that place.
Yeah, so the guild.
Meet back
The
at the
Avengers
guild.
League, yes.
Yes.
League.
Yeah. The Adventures League in 2 hours.
If you don't hear from us sooner.
I mean, we're going a lot of places, so that might not be quite enough. We'll let you know if we
At
need
dinner,
time though.
then.
Whenever's good. Like
Okay.
if we get there in 2 hours, because we're really good at what we do, then yeah. But
Meet
if
there
we're
when
longer, we'll
done.
let you know.
If you're not back, we'll say if we're not back by dinner, whoever's not there, search party.
I like it.
And break.
And Kendall proceeds to look casual until everybody leaves.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm heading to the Adventurers League
All right.
with Tolbar.
Do either Koltarn or Varush express a strong, or does anybody express a strong preference on where they want bees to go?
Bees, would you like to come be in a place where there are less cops?
Okay. Bees will follow Koltarn.
Yeah, I don't want Varush to accidentally nod in the police station and bees start killing people, okay?
I feel
Or
like that's
talk
a-
about flagrantly breaking the law.
Or making deals with demons.
Yeah.
I mean, is making a deal with a demon breaking the law here?
Not really.
If
The cops aren't going to care about that.
if the law is enforced by people that are sworn to the oath of the Watchers, it might be.
You'll learn that there is a very complex system of don't start none, won't be none on most void gates.
Best way to run it. 100%.
That's
Always
that
works great.
that part Varush is all for, but the demons, no.
I mean, legit.
There's a reason that demons are allowed to wander void gate stations unhindered for the most part.
Yeah.
As
As long as they don't start none,
right.
there won't be none.
Like Baylor walking down the street, fine. Baylor walking down the street and wreaking havoc, not fine.
Yeah. Exactly.
Cool.
So split.
Yep.
Yep.
Everybody splits. I'm assuming only Till and Kendall are left standing here.
Sounds about right. Like I said, she is just looking casual until everybody is gone and well out of earshot.
I have great
All right,
hearing.
so what do you know and what do you want for it?
Ysira returns to the ground. Like I said, I know who to contact to get the information you're looking for. I know exactly who to speak to.
Right.
What I want for it is some friends. I know that sounds incredibly suspicious, but the group of you have a unique essence about you. There's something interesting about all of you. And I know that it's likely hinted at by the fact that you've all very recently arrived with the head of the entire Adventurers League from the planet of Nocturna, which is famous for having an oracle on it. But I feel like you're going to be significant. And I want to be attached to that in some regard. Because, let's be frank, when business is good for you, it'll be good for me. In a number of ways.
Okay.
Not the least of which being I would rather never go home. And I've heard bad rumblings about things coming from home.
Okay. Well, I mean,
So you're from Argos. And then he smiles.
She laughs at that. No, I'm from across the border of the realms. And I would rather never go back.
All right.
And I would rather there not be more things that don't like me coming from there.
mm-hmm. So, I mean, I totally sympathize. That's totally fair. But let's be a little more like one of the things that my dad's always told me is you want to be very specific in wording when you're coming to arrangements, and you're being super vague right now.
That's partly my upbringing. I got very, very tired of dealing with the very specific and loopholed contracts that I grew up with, and eventually just started throwing that to the wind and making companionships rather than deals.
I mean, I get that for sure. But we are things are a little bit weird with us as a whole and certain people, and I feel like, well, normally I would be 100% okay. I like having friends are great, but I feel like we should probably be a little more specific and defined in this situation, just
Fair enough.
so there's nobody gets angry at anybody, nobody tries to cut anybody's head off, things like that.
I would like to establish a partnership between myself and the Red Runners and your group, in which I can provide connections to things that might be difficult to acquire and information that is difficult to come by
Mm-hmm.
in exchange for the assistance and potential that I see in your group being occasionally offered to help me out.
So yeah, definitely down with that. I'm gonna have as a counter. One thing I kind of have to throw out there is that since let's be honest, it will probably be contacting through me. Um, Obviously you're not going to show up and like say to the entire group, "Hey, we're going through our partnership now," and so on. That would be really bad.
Mhm.
And the other people are perhaps maybe a little bit lacking in understanding the social dynamics that would be necessary, shall we say?
Mhm.
Um, so since it would be since be talking through me or Tell. This is Till, by the way. I don't know if we actually introduced.
Ma'am.
Lovely to see you.
Totally down. One thing I would have to sort of put into this just as a heads up to you, as a sort of right of refusal, is anything relating to Fairchild business interests. We definitely don't want to have that kind of conflict come up.
Oh, absolutely. I have, quite frankly, no interest in meddling in your family's affairs.
Awesome. Then we are down. That done deal.
All right.
Deal in the less formal capacity.
Yes, I completely understand that. I frankly wouldn't want to make a formal deal with anyone myself.
Good. Okay, where do we go?
It makes me feel too much like home. I hate home.
I mean, wait a minute. So like, so what I'm hearing is that you just hate you hate home. You hate that structure of home. You are you not down with the whole demon thing in general?
No, not even close.
Huh. Interesting. Should
I'll give
talk
you a
some more.
secret. There's a lot of us out there.
Right. So, and she just files that away. Anyways, where are we going?
Follow me.
All right.
We've got to get to the black market. And she will lead you along.
Mm-hmm.
It takes about 15, 20 minutes to find a secluded alleyway that she leads you down and then offers a very specific code combination at what seems like a wall, and then it opens up into a staircase that proceeds to head downward into a well-lit environment. Welcome to the black market, she says as she enters into what looks to be like, it's almost like you're walking into a convention halls, like the the shopping section of a convention.
Yeah, yeah.
Where there's just stalls everywhere and people hawking their goods and talking and people milling about and wandering around. It's like that.
Cool.
As she steps down, the ever so lightly looked over by the keepers of the station, place where business dealings get done.
I like it.
Now, we're looking for a star. If you can find a Kardosh with the most garish outfit you've ever seen.
All right.
Trust me, he's an
Start-
eyesore. You can't miss him.
You know, you say that, and I'm sure you're right. I'm just gonna say there have been, sometimes something looks just so bad that you completely blank out that it's there.
I wish I could do that with Rustar's outfit, please.
It is kind of great. Anyways, yeah, we'll start.
So roll a perception check with advantage because she's assisting you.
Go. 9.
Fortunately, it's not that hard to spot this man.
7.
He rolled a 3, so you spot him easily. Because he has a -4 on this roll.
Okay.
Because he is hard to miss. So you look around, and eventually you're hit with something that makes you blink. As you're like, why is that person's outfit? Why is he wearing neon outlines on this outfit? And you get a closer look and you see it is a Kardosh wearing Las Vegas. If I had no better way to describe it, he is dressed in the most like over designed, extremely elaborate, lighted on several different locations outfit composed of the most bright and offensive colors that he could put together, with these sort of like phosphorescent golds and pinks clashing with like deep blues and like toxic greens. It is painful to look at on some levels.
They buy all their clothes on Facebook. They click on all the ads.
Every ad.
Fantastic. Proud of this guy.
Ew.
Well.
That's for Star.
I think we need to. I think we need to call the authorities.
Like I said, I wish I could forget what his outfit looks like. It's burned into my brain at this point.
Because that is actually a fashion crime. There's gotta be a law, right?
I wish. Believe me, I wish. Though he's very good at avoiding law. I don't know how. You can see him coming a mile away.
All right. Well, I'm gonna put my post-party gear on, which is sunglasses.
All right, let's deal with this. Jasira says as the wings fold up and recede into her shoulders so that she's not knocking everyone she passes or passes by out like down for the count with just the sheer breadth of her wings. And she walks across to Ristar.
I'm following along.
There's a brief exchange of pleasantries. As you get the sense that Ristar is every bit as big and loud in personality as his outfit implies. As Jasira walks up and is, Ristar, it's good to see you. And it's just this big, enormous, Jasira, good to see you, and just wraps arms around the devil girl and almost like he's going to crush her spine. And she's very much, thank you, Ristar. Could you not? I don't really want to have to force my way out. Yes, I understand. And lets her go. And So, what can I do for you? And Jasira, okay. We're looking for the night crawlers. Do you happen to know where their most recent hideout is? And Rastar kind of,
Hi.
night crawlers. I think I have heard whispers of where they've set up their most recent operation. Let me, a bit of, my memory might need a bit of jogging, he says, and Jasira shakes her head like he's been through this a dozen times and pulls out a pouch of coins and just sets it into his hand. Ah, perfect. This is what I want. He smacks it against his head as if jogging his memory. Yes. The night crawlers. They've found a new hole to lay up in. It is underneath the maintenance areas, beneath the vicinity of the spaceport. They found the asteroids that this particular section was built upon have some natural tunnels in them, and they've dug out a space within that tunnel area, and I've heard that there were actual denizens living within the crust of the asteroid that they've turned into guard dogs, so to speak. So if you're trying to find them, you'll want to keep an eye out for the new protection they've got on hand. But I can give you the location of the maintenance hatch they had to dig out through, and you can start following your way through the tunnels from there. And Jasira nods. That would be very much appreciated. You can see she's squinting to try and take in as little of this Cardash's outfit as possible. Yes, and he pulls out a data slate and punches some information into it and hands it to Jasira. Remember, Rustar is the best information on the station. Don't I know it? Don't I wish it weren't always the case? She turns and, like, very much in the I'm acting like I have important conversation to have with the two of you, but really I need to get away from this person.
Right,
like arms
right.
around the two of you and pulls you away.
Oh, all right. Well, I hadn't anticipated information gathering would be so personable.
Rastar is a lovely man, if he wasn't so hard to talk to. Just in general.
I mean, I'll take your word for it.
But anyway, I
Anyway,
believe I've got a lead for you.
yes. All right. Well,
And she hands you the data pad.
yeah.
There you go.
Thanks. Much appreciated. We'll be in touch, I'm sure. Great start. Really looking forward to talking to you more. But yeah, we're gonna go. Bye.
I'll be keeping an eye out.
Sure you will. And yeah, head off. Victor Till.
By the way,
out of your what?
Here, take my communicator code so that I can reach out to you and you can reach out to me.
Yep. That would be good. So yeah, once we're out of earshot, look at Till. Well, we should go like wander somewhere, because if we just go here and then go straight back, it'll be clear we didn't go anywhere else.
All right, lead the way, I suppose.
Unless you can think of somewhere we can actually investigate more, but I think we got what we need, right?
I would say that's accurate. Yes, yep. Yeah, I think we did.
All right, bar time it
Till
is.
Till just looks very like very nonplussed by this entire exchange, whole thing.
Fair. Yeah, we go to find a bar, probably somewhere above the like where everybody else usually goes, just so we don't happen to run into, if for some reason it doesn't become clear that we're just slacking for a good hour or two.
Mhm.
Besides, the being drunk will do that well enough.
And then the other transition.
Yep.
Varush,
Yep.
you head back to the Void Keeper's office.
Yes.
You're waved through to the captain to have conversation as you need.
Yeah. So we found the shipment. We were unable to prevent it being stolen again,
Yeah.
but I've got some more questions that perhaps you might be able to answer, or if you could give me access to look this information up.
I might not be able to answer all of it, but I'll see what I can help with.
Do you have any idea where they would, if do you, do you have any idea where they might sell or offload it? Do you have any inkling of where the station's market is?
There are several. We keep loose eyes on the black markets to try and keep them under control. We couldn't possibly eliminate them entirely. Every time we try, they pop back up at a different location that we have to then find again. So we've settled for keeping tabs on them.
Yes. You'd be able to give me the locations of those?
Yes,
You might be
although
able
I
to
won't be
search.
able to get you the entrance, the secret passwords or codes that they require to enter into them. I can get you the general locations.
All right. That should be good enough, at least for a start. Also, when did the thefts for these start? How long has the El Tumbla been being stolen specifically?
It started about a galactic standard month ago.
Have you checked that against any individuals that might have started their residence here?
No,
Around that time.
well, I should say we did check that, but there's nothing that stands out. We haven't seen any new or old gang activities changing all that significantly in around that time frame. If it is gang activity, it's one that's already existed for a while and is changing their tactics that we just haven't noticed.
All right. And not to say anything poorly about the station, I haven't been here for quite a while, but they do routine checks to make sure there are no malignant programs.
Yes,
shouldn't be.
the computer systems are checked regularly. We haven't found any spy information or programs stealing our info yet. So if they do have eyes on the inside, it's not going to be mechanical.
Who all would have access to the ship manifests and their schedules?
Mostly dock control, which we don't have all of the control over ourselves. We can't sway them to tell us everything that's going in and going out, but we do have the authority to require that anything within regular customs and verification requirements be sent to us.
assuming since we're on a void gate, we have access to who works on the docks.
Yes,
That would-
we can certainly.
All right. Then that's all that I can think of right now. I'll leave you to your business and find myself a terminal.
I'll give you regular access so you can pull up most everything that one of our investigators would be able to find.
Okay. When I get to the terminal, do the terminals keep track of when certain information is accessed? Like
Yes, it
viewed?
does. It does keep a last viewed log.
Okay, so then for all the ships that have had their Altumbla stolen, I want to look through who viewed their manifests, and if any of the names are consistently there, or there more than once.
So
Specifically dock workers.
roll me an investigation check real quick.
All right. I am a goddamn elephant version of Sherlock Holmes. Or not. You know what? I'm going to use my... I really want this to work, so I'm going to use my inspiration. I'd rather not roll a natural one. I got my wish. I got a 5.
So there's probably some more information that you'd be able to pull out of this if you knew exactly what to look for. But the thing that does strike you with the 5 is that the thing that's consistent isn't the names, it's the times. And by that, every shipment that you pull up that has had Altumbla on it that has ended up going missing was accessed at the same time stamp, like within a minute, by a different name each time.
Is it okay? It probably wouldn't tell me where though. Like where it was accessed from.
No, it would just tell you the database file of last access by, etc.
Are there any more ships coming soon that are going to have Altumbla on them?
The next incoming manifest is scheduled as being a week out.
I'll copy down the names to see if somebody else can figure out, like in that time period where they're accessed. And if there's anything somebody else can do later with those.
You do know that the next incoming shipment was accessed at that same time by a random name.
Yeah, what was the last name at that time?
The name at that time is Jarin Liston. Which is, if you look that name up, he's literally just a random dock worker.
He's a person of interest now.
He works with docking control, with like ensuring maintenance on the clamps that hold ships in place.
Okay. John Liston. Okay. Yeah, other than that, once I have those names in that time, that little bit,
and like this was all done on the same day, about a Goblin standard 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Like there are 2 times. Like since it started, the ones that started at the beginning of the month were accessed a couple weeks before that, and then the ones that have been recent were accessed a couple weeks before now, and all of them at the same time frame by different names.
Okay.
For the record, Goblin Standard remains the best 2-word combination in the history of words.
Here, here.
For sure. Okay. I'm gonna copy down on a data slate some of the other information that I asked about that he gave me access to. And yeah, I will head back to the Adventurers League and I'll take my time getting back though, so I can mull things over.
And we'll take a quick break before we meet up with everyone back at the Adventurers League.
So I guess I didn't find anything then.
Well, I mean,
You're
we gave
at
you what
the
you
Adventurers League.
That's right. You went back to the Adventurers League to look. So
Yeah.
we'll cover what you were looking for when we get back.
I see.
And then we will filter in.
Yeah.
Well, we are gonna. Remember when we take our break, you take your break. So if you're watching on Twitch, stand up. Stretch out, stretch yourselves, get food, get drinks, use the bathroom, whatever you need to do. And also, please stay tuned for these commercial messages. We'll go back in just a few minutes. And we're back. A dinosaur story.
Welcome back, everyone. So, Colton,
Yes.
you and Bees went back to the Core Adventurers League.
We did.
What are you doing there?
So basically, I want to just strike up conversation with the various people that are hanging out, specifically the ones that look like they're adventurers as well, or the people that talk to the adventurers regularly, like the barkeep. And I am trying to. I'm asking about if anybody's been, doing any jobs that relate to a bunch of stolen like goods. If anybody's, I want to see if anybody's talking about a rash of thefts by some mysterious group. I want to see if anybody's talking about, ship cargo being stolen seemingly out of thin air or, in the middle of the street. I want to see if anybody's talking specifically about the band of thieves that we're hunting, and I have a small basically recording of the Cambion lady saying
Zero.
their name, like, which I will absolutely like use as like as some amount of like, have you heard of these people? Play the audio, whatever. Basically, I'm just sort of canvassing all the people in the room as best as I can, trying to find additional bits of information about what's been going on and if any of them know, like, have any other leads for us to pursue in this regard.
These will repeat the word correctly, pronouncing it in Sylvan each time.
Yeah.
Or the phrase, not the word. And we'll chime in with questions as well. I don't know if that's if that would count as assisting or not, William. I will defer to you on that.
Because most people here are adventurers and they know an adventurer doing a job when they see one. It's not going to be about convincing people. It's just going to be about who knows what. So roll me an investigation check with advantage.
Advantage. 23.
So with a 23, nobody here has done any jobs relating to that situation, but there are a few people who have been out on the town a little bit and picked up a few things from people they've spoken to. And what you're gathering is that these individuals have been known for surprise ambush thievery, in that when someone has something valuable that they're looking to take, you generally don't know when they're after you because they're very good at keeping themselves hidden. But when they decide to act, it is usually very quickly and immediately gone. And it's usually something very similar to what you saw today, where lights will go out, there'll be some kind of magical darkness, and then someone will get roughed up potentially or shoved or something's taken from them. And then by the time everything clears up, they're gone with no trace left. And it's happened a few times.
So, in those conversations, I'm trying to see if there's any like specific pattern of goods. Is it all Autumnla, or are there other things that are being stolen? And also,
there are other things. Yeah. They're usually either chemicals, like various above and below board drugs, health potions, alchemical supplies. It's usually chemical or alteration in nature. Like, it's not, they're not usually going after guns or any weapons or like not even credits really, but like it's usually something chemical or like alchemical in nature.
Then I'll also sort of try to see if I can gather information on any sort of, because these are adventurers, they do all sorts of shady shit. Any sort of like criminal, like or like X culture, like subculture within the city where you would go if you were looking for a black marketplace or a underground city. Kind of like being in Waterdeep and asking about Skullport kind of thing, like or investigating Skullport kind of thing. Like where is this town's equivalent of Skullport, if anybody's heard of it?
What you do get is that it's decentralized. If you're looking for a black market, you can usually find one on any of the platforms.
Mm-hmm.
You also learn that the guards have light tabs on these black markets, because they can't wipe them out, and so they just settled for keeping an eye on them.
Yeah. And then I think last bit of information that I'll probably be able to get before everybody gets back is is there any particularly around the they've been hitting however many places, have there been any established criminal element, any established gangs or anything like that have been disbanded, that have been displaced, that have disappeared in recent times since the thefts began? Is there any major criminal groups that have suddenly vanished, whether by the hands of adventurers, notably, or with no explanation?
The thing that you pick up is that a group known as the Red Runners, who had primarily been known for small time thievery, mostly just grabbing a handful of coins and some food and disappearing with it, and occasionally snagging a weapon or some kind of valuable technology, has been less seen than usual of late. Usually, and when they are seen, it's usually somewhere around where this other gang is active. A lot of people are speculating there's some kind of beef between them, or that they did something to the Red Runners and they're trying to get back at them for it.
Okay. So, yeah. So
if you ask anyone about the Red Runners in particular, you mostly hear that they're basically a bunch of street rats trying to survive.
Yeah. So yeah, with that information, presumably at some point people start arriving.
And yeah, about a little bit later, everyone else reconvenes back at the Adventurers League.
I think this is information we already have, but the legitimate retail of Altumbra, such as it is handled through the Watchers. Do I remember that correctly?
The sale of Altumbra is highly regulated, right. And the Void Keepers do the customs checks basically on Altumbra. Okay. They're the ones who inspect, do you have exactly as much as you're saying you have? Is it for the destination that you're saying it is? Is it of the quality you're saying it is? Is it actually what you're saying you're transporting?
So all of it coming through the station is just passing through, or is there any legitimate above board dealing in Altumbra that takes place here?
There are legitimate alchemical supply stores that sell Altumbla on the station, and every product they get has to be examined by the guards before it goes to them.
Okay. Could we get a list of those businesses?
Yeah, there's about 4 of them on the station.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
So, welcome back. I trust your investigations to be fruitful.
Yeah. Fairly.
Not as much as I would have hoped, but it is a start.
I also have some information, though mostly ancillary and broadening perspective more than anything else. Who wants to go first?
I did find what I was able to find. I have copies of the data as well, and he'll flick his data slate and send the copies to everybody because future. And I did notice that the manifests for each of the ships that were stolen from, their manifests were accessed at the same time each time prior to their robbery, by different names, but and the most recent was a dock worker that shouldn't have access to that. I believe, from what I read of their profile, they mostly in charge of making sure the ship stays put.
So how do these terminals work? Do they, when you interact with them?
They log the time when a certain manifest, not a specific location, but
Do they
you can
make a
see who.
Do they make a visual log of the person accessing, and identify them that way, or do you enter your credentials?
The second one.
Yeah, you have to have credentials to access the terminal.
So whoever this dock worker was, he was given credentials of a sufficient level to be able to access it,
That
rather
could
than
be it.
had someone else's and was using them.
Correct.
So,
Possibly.
so then some aspect of this criminal organization is particularly savvy with modifying records. Then technologically advanced or technologically savvy.
That'd be my guess. There's several black market locations. I have the locations, but gaining entrance to them, apparently there's passphrases we need to know to
Yes.
get entrance.
They're fairly decentralized, it seems. No one location where that sort of a group would act. I'll wait until later. Anything else?
There's another shipment of Altumbla coming in next week. We could actually, if you are fairly technologically savvy, if you could keep an figure out a way to devise something to keep an eye on that same time window the next time that the manifest is accessed.
But it doesn't have to be accessed from the same location, does it?
No, it doesn't, but it would give us a name as soon as it is accessed.
I don't
Then
think
we
that,
could find.
I don't know that the name is relevant.
It might not be, but
I imagine it's
something.
the same person accessing the terminal by elevating credentials of random individuals so as to keep their own name out of the system. That's at least what I would do.
Did we try tracking down the person that you found?
I haven't
Or
yet.
you
I
don't think
was
they have
willing to
anything to
share.
do with it?
I don't know yet. I haven't talked to them.
If I'm clever enough to escalate my privileges in a manifest terminal, I'm also clever enough to not use my name to do it, nor to use the same name nor to use the same name twice. You use a real name, someone who has no interest in doing the thing you're doing, so that when they are inevitably tracked down, they know nothing because they didn't do it.
It's a possibility.
I mean, too. It's
But-
not like these are the smartest people in the world either.
No, but it won't do to underestimate their intelligence. Don't bet on people making poor decisions.
But that's all I was able to figure out. I have a bit more information, raw data, not as much concise.
Well,
That's me.
Till
You
Kindle.
all?
Kendall found a very weirdly dressed man to talk to who
Yeah.
was supposedly fairly well informed about local goings on
Yeah.
by several reports.
Mm-hmm. He's a little handsy, and he is.
I
you
didn't
don't
have to shoot him though.
No, me either. And we didn't. You don't want to look directly at him because, ew. But he was able to give us some information, which I'm sorry, the information has left my brain completely. So blah.
It's specifically the location of an area underneath the
Yeah.
maintenance of the ship area where they had to dig out into tunnels to establish their current base.
Yep. Yes, but there are reports of tunnels where they're probably hiding out.
Yep.
He like a son?
A what?
A son.
In the tunnels?
No, is
No,
Rustar like
Star.
a son?
Oh, no, he's
if a sun decided to dress itself while blind, yes.
Who all told us not to look at sons?
Yeah.
There's a lot of things in the worlds that you shouldn't look at.
This will less be like damaging to your eyes and more like
to your psyche.
damaging to whatever you ate for breakfast.
Oh, is it like looking directly at it and then a word comes out that is? Does anyone speak Abyssal?
I have to check that because I legitimately don't know.
Nope. I speak avian and basic.
Nope,
Nope.
I do not.
Speak
All right, yeah,
Octagon, Common,
then
and Giant.
Nope.
Then a word comes out that you you feel in your sinuses more than hear.
Oh,
Mm. Why
Because
am I?
For a
those aren't
Loxodon,
very.
that means a lot.
yeah.
Why
His
am I-
trunk immediately starts writhing.
Why am
No,
I
'cause
tasting mint?
Because those aren't nice to look at either.
Don't say that again.
Then it's probably pretty
Okay.
accurate, Bees. So yeah,
Probably similar.
Well,
we found that there were a bunch of different places.
was that their most recent one or their one before that?
Supposedly most recent.
So their current fortifications. Worth investigating.
You did hear they had supposedly repurposed some like indigenous life forms of the asteroid the
Yes.
station is built on into guard dogs.
Right. They apparently found some species to ally with. I don't know if they're sentient or just nasty.
Well, the information that I've discovered won't necessarily help us locate them, though it doesn't seem like that's necessary anymore. However, they seem to be primarily focused on alchemical reagents and substances of a transmutative nature. Things that transport the mind and leave the body behind, or transport the body and leave the mind behind, sort of thing. Altumbra being probably the most pricey thing, but not the only thing.
Excellent. A bunch of drugged out bandits. That sounds like a very easy job.
Potentially,
All right, this is
potentially
going to be
also
fun.
a bunch of drugged out guard dogs.
So I don't have a ton of experience with criminals, but if you're stealing expensive substances, you usually, unless you're like heavy into biochem, you generally don't feed them to your pets.
Well, we already know at least one of them is heavy into technology. It's not a far leap.
I mean, it's possible they're doing experiments down there.
Something to be aware of at the very least.
Shall we go find out, or do we need to wait for the muddy puddle to clear a bit more?
I feel that if they are constantly moving their base, then likely the swifter the better.
Let's go
Makes
now.
sense.
We could go check it out.
And also, if we want to recover the Altumbra that was stolen, we'd want to get it before it's used or sold.
Yeah, we should probably definitely do that.
Yeah.
Do you have maps to these tunnels or just a general vague location?
Little more the latter.
Well,
It's
you have
fine.
you have the location of the tunnel entrance. So you don't have
Right.
a map of the tunnels itself.
We don't have a
Exactly.
map for the tunnels, but we do know where the door is.
Yep.
Well then, fortunately, we still have a bug on the thing that was stolen, and we know it went with it because bees lost the sound.
True.
I imagine it might echo in the tunnels below.
They've got
I'll-
they've had a couple hours to find that, but it might still be. It's a breadcrumb at least.
I'll let everyone know when I hear it.
That
When we-
would be excellent.
When
Yes,
we
thank
hear it.
you.
Do we need to do any preparations, or is everybody armed, set, ready, fueled up, as it were?
I have several fantastical instruments of destruction that I look forward to testing out.
Okay, so destruction is good when we go here.
Oh, depending.
To the bandits and
Yes.
thieves,
Okay.
at least. Probably not to the environment. Caves are known to collapse in places, and it's bad for everybody, not just targets when you're in there.
True.
How
Also,
far
we
down
are
does
in
the station
space.
go?
We'll find out, bees.
Okay,
Eventually, there is a limit, though, and you don't want to go past it.
okay.
We're
We'll
going to
be-
Did
be
we
heading
get
into-
any? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
Did we get any indication? Is there atmosphere in these caves?
You haven't gotten any specific answers to that, so it's probably best to be prepared. But who knows?
So I'm good to go whenever, with the exception of I'm probably gonna need about an hour because I have to get ready.
Okay.
What do you have to do?
I mean, we're going down into the tunnels. That's a whole different aesthetic.
What does that mean?
She needs to change her
I need to change.
clothes.
Do you have more than one pair?
Do you not?
No, we don't really wear clothes.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah. No. Yeah, I have. Yes, I have different pairs of clothes.
But Gideon doesn't change clothes much.
Huh. Okay.
I was going to make a joke, but it would have been less funny without Camille here. So
Yeah, I will. I'm basing that sort of general. Camille may disagree with me. Sorry, Camille. If Gideon has access to way more clothes than I understood that Gideon does, I apologize.
no, I was just gonna go. That explains the smell.
I feel like
but
I feel like
Camille
I feel
has to
like
be there for me to
Bees
make that
Bees
joke.
serves as a reasonably unreliable narrator when the story demands.
Yeah, that's fair.
um, I mean, standard pricing for a spacesuit is usually about 40% more money than I actually have. Does anybody
Anybody
have?
have what?
It's 10 gold.
Sorry, for what?
If there isn't air in these caves, it's going to be a problem. Can we afford spacesuits?
or to get what we currently have sealable.
Or even just like, yes, a rebreather, a helmet, something.
If there isn't air in the caves, we'll know very quickly.
And let's be honest, if you tell it that they would have been required to be in spacesuits before teleporting out, if there's probably air down there.
Yeah, I think we're probably good.
We'll be okay.
And if there isn't, we'll go get some spacesuits.
All right, let's take an hour, I suppose, and then go see what we can find.
Yep. Kendall goes and gets changed.
I can only reinfuse items over a long rest, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm stuck with a knife on an NPC and my gun.
Gets her hair pulled back. Redoes makeup. in a going underground
Kind of look.
kind of look.
So basically an underground club sort of look.
Yeah, basically, she comes out basically set for a rave.
Right.
But like, in case it wasn't obvious, like what the rich white girl shows up to a rave in.
Yep.
I just take my time tuning my utensils.
There is so much eyeshadow and glitter, you don't even know.
Oh, we do. It's very obvious.
No, that's more even than you know.
You vajazzled.
So before this gets any more out of hand, can we smash cut to the entry of the cave?
For the record, no.
Wrong side.
I plead the fifth.
You can't shit glitter if it's not there first.
I appreciate that you tried to cut this off, Jack.
Yeah, you know.
So you make your way down into the maintenance tunnels beneath the section of the station that houses the spaceport. Eventually, you come across the section of the tunnels that has been torn open and hollowed out that cuts away into the bedrock of the asteroid that the station is built into a tunnel. As you push your way through, you feel the air get thin, but it's still there, which basically sounds like they connected this tunnel to the rest of the atmosphere, and so it's just sort of leaching the oxygen from the rest of the station. So the air is thinner than normal, but it's still present.
Also means we have a nice persistent back breeze. So like it's just all of our hair and coats are sort of dramatically fluttering forwards.
Basically, yeah.
Ears
Pressure
flapping.
differential by osmosis. Cool.
He's is pretty actively keeping dozens and dozens of eyes out.
Tollbar's going ahead. Tollbar's leading the way.
So, make me perception checks.
Not have advantage on this one. Boop. 22.
Could I
God's sake, 17.
make an argument for investigation in that rather than looking for people, I'm looking at the progression of these tunnels that they had to dig out for which areas seem to have been the ones they were focusing on. Because certainly there's going to be like some fake tunnels that they've dug out, but you're only going to dig the fake tunnels so far.
Still perception in this particular
Okay.
case.
I tried.
Can I actually make an argument that I'm not looking for people, I'm smelling for other things?
Not in this case. The air is too thin for scent to really be like extremely useful.
Okay.
Plus, if we've got a
Yeah,
wind at
I
our
just thought
back,
about- I
right?
just thought about that
It's going to
too.
be real hard to catch stuff in front of you, probably.
Yeah. Currently permanently upwind or downwind.
No,
No,
upwind
we're
upwind
upwind.
is the thing, yeah.
Yeah.
You are currently permanently upwind of everything.
Upwind is...
Oh, I can smell the station.
Oh, yeah.
All of it.
Yeah. Downwind is where the wind is blowing to.
Right.
But yeah,
So,
so
they're going to smell us.
definitely.
Nobody fart. Or everybody fart. Whatever.
Confuse them.
Tollbar can't fart.
That's a medical problem, and you should seek help.
The Tollbar is a construct.
I am not going to Google whether bees fart.
How do you think they fly?
But with a 22, Till, you and everyone who rolled over a 13, which is all of you, So all of you begin to notice when the tunnel begins to progress into steel paneling. As you reach a portion where they've actually had time to build the tunnels into an environment. And you get the sense as you approach the end, you reach a like a metal grate door. It's not perfectly airtight, which is why you're still getting airflow through here. But there's a metal door blocking your way, and you're fairly certain that on the other side of this door is the actual environment of this group's hideout.
I would like to see if either of our NPCs would like to check and see if the door is locked.
I can do it with Mage Hand.
Yes, the two of your NPCs who are also the party rogues.
Yep.
I mean, we can get the door open. It's whether we get it open quietly.
Let's see what Gideon and Mistle can do.
I'm a 400-pound lockpick if need be.
Just Kool-Aid man right through that. Oh yeah.
No, we're gonna be like crash through it. Oh fuck, that hurt.
Son of a bitch.
Oh fuck.
Exactly.
Mistle runs up to flies up to the door and is having a hard time investigating it, and Gideon just kind of walks up and like pries the door very quietly, comes back, it's locked. You're muted, Jack.
Do either of you know how to unlock it?
Oh, you wanted me to do that? Oh, yeah, I guess I can do that.
I can also do that.
I can do it. We can do it.
I can knock.
That's probably the last thing we want to do.
Mistle will fly over and try and unlock the door.
I do legitimately have proficiency with thieves' tools.
Yeah.
You get that for being an artificer.
Yep.
Mistle tries it, but is having a hard time because this lock is particularly like clumsy, and she's very small.
Mm-hmm.
Gideon will give it a try again. Better.
Mistle's like, I loosened it.
Gideon walks back. Okay, it's unlocked.
I feel like thieves' tools for Mistle is like just a set of pry bars
Right. She's just got
per
two
scale.
Invarin-sized crowbars.
I'll just walk up and open the door.
Hopping up and down on one.
All right, William, what's the
Hill
damage
is
on the sawed-off?
literally right on her heels.
What's the damage on a sawed-off shotgun, William? Because my
D6.
character sheet is all the Roll20 app has fucked up my character sheet in all manner of ways.
I believe it's a D6. Let me
Yeah,
double
it's a 1d6. I have it open for other reasons right now.
check.
Wait, we said the shotgun?
The sawn
Sawn
off.
off.
Oh, sawn off, yes. Sawn off is a D6. Yep. Mhm.
Regular is 1d8.
Yep.
Yeah, so Kendall, you open the
Uh-huh.
door
Uh-huh. How much damage do I take?
and find yourself, I'm gonna put you on a map as you find yourself face to face with a void elf.
Like how I had the construct up front to take the first blow, and then Kindle walks past.
Door wasn't
Am
gonna
I
open
supposed to be
itself.
able to see?
Hang on.
Oh, wait. Oh, never mind. I found it.
As I put everyone else in the square behind you.
Oh, hey.
Look, we're all piled up in the same location.
Are
Because
we?
you're technically on the other side of the
There we
door,
go.
so
Oh my god. Hi.
as this void elf looks at you with surprise and like very extreme confusion and then starts reaching for a pistol, and we're gonna roll initiative. You guys have the surprise round.
Yeah. I am
Well, turn
selected.
tracker.
I have initiative.
All turns. There we go.
First, I have to find my character.
Hey,
Damn.
Hey,
damn.
Jesus. What is it? What is with me and initiative rolls? Like I don't roll bad all the time like Jeremy does, but I always roll poorly on initiative specifically. Now, well, is what it is.
14. Not bad for having a 1.
Very respectable.
Really quickly move everyone aside so I can roll for Gideon. And
There is no corner on that room to the right, by the way.
yeah, I'm not worried about it right now.
Cool. Just want to make sure.
One. Mistle. 22.
Jesus.
Everybody back up.
Like how bees and Till are just kind of okay. Yeah.
Kendall, you had the first move. You also have a surprise round, so all of you are going to get to go before these elves do, no matter what their initiative is.
so he goes for the gun, and her like warm, friendly, oh my god, hi, sort of drops a little bit, and she's like, fucking rude. And I'm going to require him to make a wisdom save,
Okay, what are you casting?
because I am casting hold. Oh, that doesn't help. Hold person.
That's a 5. So he reaches for the gun. You go, fucking rude. And as he's trying to pull it out of the holster,
You could say, in a way, they both reached for the gun.
Yes, so yes.
And then
The gun.
I'm just
Oh yes, they both
I'm
reach for
moving
the
her
gun.
forward,
for the
but I'm
gun.
assuming that the moving forward narratively is just being shoved forward as the rest of the party runs in.
Is there any kind of visual indication that Kendall caused it, or just the statement that she just made?
I mean, that's up to how Kendall's magic works. That's up to
Yeah, that's
I was gonna say, I think Hold Person has a somatic.
It has
component.
verbal, somatic, and material components.
In Kendall's case, the verbal was fucking rude,
Right.
and the somatic was hand on chest, looking really annoyed.
like would be
Like,
clutching pearls, but it's actually
fucking
your
rude,
arcane
yeah.
focus.
Right.
And then I would imagine like there's some kind of light shining over him.
Like he reaches for the
Like it's
pistol.
dad's power. So
Yeah, he reaches for the pistol and then freezes in place as like what looks to be like an outline of like green leaves just sort of starts enveloping around him as he's frozen in spot.
He's getting a mental talk to about why you don't point a gun at his daughter.
I have no fucking
Pretty
idea what
much.
just happened.
That it for your turn?
that is my turn. Yes, I move
right.
forward 5 feet because I got shoved.
Mistle being the NPC is going to wait. Varouche.
Okay. All right. So which one is held?
The one
The one
directly
dir-
across.
This one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So step inside. See this one. Yeah, I'm just gonna charge and attempt to like hold them up to the wall by throat.
Roll me an athletics check to get a grapple on him.
All right.
Don't roll like
Ooh,
shit.
12. So kind of.
It wasn't as bad as his roll. So you have him.
Okay. So yeah, up. and I'm just with my other hand, I'm just gonna hold a finger in front of my mouth like you should be quiet or else.
Roll me an intimidate check.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jesus.
It's the trunk. It gets in the way.
Right,
You can try to do
yeah.
nose.
Gideon, being the other NPC, is going to wait. The drow are surprised. Coltarn.
Let's see. I'm going to. So Varush went to that one, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to use my bonus action to command Tollbar. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I'm going to go over to here. And between the two of us, we're hopefully going to non-lethally bludgeon this person into unconsciousness. For information gathering
Okay.
purposes.
Okay.
We already had advantage because he was paralyzed. I'm going to introduce.
Also, if you hit him, it's a critical hit.
Yeah. So like Tollbar has the chainsaw axe, but it's just going to use the butt end of it to just crack him in the back of the head. And I've got a mace, which is a blunt weapon, so it's non-lethal, right?
That's
No.
totally how that works. Yeah, absolutely.
Subdual damage.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm not gonna waste any spells if I can afford not to. Advantage. Machi. Go. 19. Why are you
what
using
is
auto
their AC?
attack on? Piece of shit.
Yes, that hits. And it's a critical hit again because they're paralyzed.
All right, so
Another
hang on,
D6.
I have to. Yeah, another. So that's 10 damage from me,
Okay.
and then Tollbar. $24 to hit.
That is also a critical hit.
So -2, so 7, 5,
12.
so 12 force damage.
He is unconscious on his feet because he's still paralyzed and his legs can't give out for him.
I feel like there's just like a we both rear back at the same time. Clunk. All right, next. That's my turn.
Bees.
All right. Bees will push into the room. Over to here. And just gonna some of the torch bees will swarm out and strike in, making the equivalent of a short sword attack. 22.
You do have advantage for whatever it's worth.
This guy's not paralyzed.
No, this guy's just grappled.
And I can't flank him because he's in the corner.
Yep, 22 hits.
Minimum damage 5.
Okay.
I'm gonna do an extra d6 on that. That's from my swarm as the bees begin to crawl all over. So an extra 3 piercing.
All right.
3
and
bees
then
sting him.
I will use my my bonus action to attack with essentially my offhand.
Hey, you got him by the throat, so he's struggling to breathe in the thin air right now, but he is definitely making noise. It's sort of more of a choking sound and than a scream, but
I assume the 8 doesn't hit.
no.
All right. I think that's my turn.
Till.
Till's gonna step right up here, and he's actually gonna use his spear rather than his gun currently, because ammo plus probably slightly quieter. So just a flat attack, two-handed. Boop. Does an 11 hit?
Nope.
We'll spend 1 key point for 2 more of those. Ba, 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 ba. Those have to be unarmed strikes, though. So the wings just the front joints in them just shoot out twice. 21 to hit for 8 bludgeoning and 14.
The wings crack. 14 wouldn't hit, but the 8 damage knocks him out.
Okay, cool. Yep.
I like that. I like using the wings for flurry blows.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
As both wings just slam across his head, and you've got 2 unconscious void elves.
And then Till's going to use the rest of his movement to just post up right here and pull out the gun. Not aiming at the door, but ready to cover the door in case anybody opens it up to see what's going on.
The air here is particularly thin, and you handle the situation very quickly. And it doesn't sound like a lot of noise traveled very far, and you're not hearing footsteps coming your way.
Okay. He'll still be listening just in case.
So it sounds like you managed to get enough of a drop on these people that since you caught them entirely in the surprise round and they didn't get to do anything, you have not raised the alarm yet.
All right. So let's go ahead and tie these up while we can and move on.
I got rope. Start tying them up.
You tie the pair of them up.
The torch bees start webbing them up too.
That's not
Check.
going to be horrifying when they wake up.
check and see if any of them have keys,
Yeah.
key cards, anything.
Search the pockets of
through.
the one that's standing up.
Yeah, the bees will crawl through the pockets.
He has the key card to the door you're standing next to, as it turns out.
Anything else fun?
On them, they are carrying short swords and pistols.
Not anymore.
I was going to say, Till will ask if he can requisition some of the ammo clips that they have.
Feel free.
Hand them over.
You snag 6 magazines.
6 total? Cool.
Yep.
Did Kendo yank the card out of Coltarn's hand?
No, that was me joking about taking it from the guy.
Oh, okay. Got it. Sorry. All right. Are we all ready for the next room?
Sure, this one was easy.
And we have a key card, so this one we will probably be able to just.
I will have Tolbarn take the key card, or Tolbar take the key card and open the door.
And as you make your way into the hideout of the night crawlers, or those who walk under moonlit shadows, as they are officially known, that's where we're gonna end for the week.
Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.